Hello, welcome back to our IT Landy PowerShell Nugget course. For today, we have been speaking for the past few, we'll say, lessons around, PowerShell, and a quick recap to these modules. You can see from module 1 to 6, we have covered from intro, pipeline, formatting, data structure, export and import. We spoke about functions. Later on, we will continue with remoting, AD, Exchange, SQL. We have already covered Windows Server 2016, the new improvement of PowerShell, and how we can use the technique I've used. However, with Windows Server 2016, it's keep evolving, which means Microsoft keep adding, improving. So therefore, I've shown you how you can export and extract these PowerShell and what technique, and you can use the same just to make sure you have covered or you will be covering the new switches and modules which will basically Microsoft they introduce. We do have some new PowerShell modules and switches which Microsoft are announcing they've added to the server 2019 now, not even 16 anymore. However, we shall wait until the release in beta, and then we'll cover that one as well for us. Let's go back to our module 6, data structure, and we have covered so far. We spoke about, earlier data structure. We said array, jagged, and multi-dimensions. We're going to continue with this one today, and we'll cover the accessing array. We finished that topic. I've given an example. If you recall, the previous sessions was around getting child item and then doing the access. For today, we're going to continue with this topic, and we will do manipulation with the array. So we did the accessing. Let's have a look what we can do with the manipulation with arrays. You can see that Swiss knife. We use it for comparison for operators and assignments of the operators, which are very powerful toolkit for handling data in array basically. Let's have a look. We got the equal, and we have the add equal, and you can see minus eg, minus ne, gt, and so on, matching, replacing, and contains. So let's have a look at this description for these operators, because these operators are the Swiss knife for us within PowerShell. So equal will give us the assignment of value to an array. If I add the plus sample in front of it, what it does exactly, that will add a new element to my array, which means the operator minus equal does not work. Now, what about option number 3? Hyphen eg, hyphen ge, hyphen eq, ne, like, matching. These will return elements that match the given criteria. We'll have a look later on around these, but again, same thing applies to the replace and the contains. Let's have a look at some of these examples. I'm just going to walk you through these, but however, again, this is like an entry to you to expand around these topics. So I'll give an example, like I can do an array, which means $ARR, maybe 1. This is array number 1. That will equal to what? Colon, or open the brackets, and then it will be, say, element 1, close the colon, close the semicolons, element 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. That will be my array 1, and then same format, same layout, so that will be array 2, but in this scenario it will be 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a bit different from array 1. Same thing applied to array 3, 4, and 5. But at the end, what I can do array 1, $array 1 plus equal array 2. What does that mean? We mentioned on that one, it's adding new element, which means we are doing merging here, So I can merge 1 and 2 into new array, or I can merge array 1 into array 2, or expand it. You can see there, you have these choices. That's why we said that's important, because sometimes pardon, I grab some elements, some values from an array, and feed it or merge it into another array. Okay, It's either new array or feed it from two systems into one and push the output to different process. I think if you just continue with me with the rest, maybe you will gain more, I would say, knowledge around it and make yourself familiar if you're not. Next is, how do we create, one thing more before I move on to the next part of it. I mentioned some examples. Here, these examples, you do not need to iterate over the complete array to determine whether it does contain specific elements. A quick way to use the minus contains operator. That will help me to search lists of items, either exactly by pattern or by regular expression. With the minus EQ, you've seen that a lot. Same thing with the matching. These, they find elements within the collection, and that will return some elements which based on the condition for matching. Same thing applied to the remove one by assigning the result to new array or by gaining or filtering out. Next, how can I reference into my array? All arrays in PowerShell are zero based and they are polymorphic. We mentioned this one earlier. What does that mean? You can store any type of object within that array. Okay, array are also, they are references or reference rather than a value type. Do you get that one? Basically, they are reference. They are not a value. If an array is assigned to another variable, we do not receive a copy of that array, but rather than that, we will receive a reference or a pointer to it. You can see that example. We assign the content of array 1 to array 2, changing the element on array 2, which causes array 1 to basically also change. You can see there as well, we have an exception to this rule. For any newly referenced array has an element you can be added, or we use the clone bracket method of an array. In the first case, a new array object is created and the original reference to the first array is lost. The variable now points to the new array. The clone array method does exactly what its name basically suggested, and makes copy of the array that doesn't reference to the original object. You can see there that changing an array will always reflect by all variables pointing to that piece of memory. That means variable of like a $x is a pointer to the memory. Hopefully that basically clarify what is an array and how we can reference to an array. Let's jump to the next topic. How to identify a reference type. Value types, struct, enums, they are basically cannot be null. They inherit implicitly from a value type. They have a default value implicit with a constructor, and the data is stored in a stack. These are the value types. What about the reference type? They are classes. Look at the difference between value and reference. The variable works like a pointer to the memory address. Modifying an object does have an effect on all reference to it. The data mean which is stored in a heap. All the arrays in PowerShell we mentioned earlier, they are zero and polymorphic, which means they can store any type of object in it. Also, array they have a reference rather than a value type. If an array is assigned to another variable, we do not receive a copy of the array. Rather than that, we receive a pointer. And I highlight that one in the previous slide with examples for us. Okay? I'm just quickly recapping that one for us. And there's an exception to this rule. If the newly referenced array has an element added to it, or if we use the clone bracket method of an array. Okay? So look at the value types and reference type and the differentiation between these two, or the differences between these two options. Okay. Next, the array class series. So the ArrayList classes is more comfortable or to use than a simple object array. If you recall earlier, we said object brackets. There are some scenarios where ArrayList is more flexible and faster than array. Okay. However, this depends on the amount of type of information being processed. I'll cover. I mean, let's see. Cover this in more details on the next part. However, for this part, I think we covered enough information. Let's quickly recap, and then for the next part, we can cover more details around, the ArrayList class. We compare it to proper array object. I will see the differences between these two type. Okay. Hopefully we have learned something useful today about array, accessing array, and with some examples we covered earlier, and the references to array as well. Okay. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you at part number 3 for module 6, which is data structure and collection. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.